galaxy far, far away, but perhaps not so far, in the depths of the human heart, where love and fear often intertwine. Imagine a young man, a prodigy touched by destiny, standing on the precipice of greatness. He dreams not of power, but of protection. He remembers the sand, the heat, the chains, and the crushing inability to save the one person who truly loved him, his mother. That early, searing loss carved a deep vulnerability into his soul, a wound that would never fully heal. This is Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi's chosen one, a being of immense power, but more importantly, of immense capacity for love. His compassion, his empathy, his desire to alleviate suffering, these were his defining traits. He wasn't cold or calculating, he was deeply, profoundly human, perhaps too human for the austere path of the Jedi. And it was this very humanity, this wellspring of love, that would become his undoing. His love for Padmé Amidala was not a fleeting affection, but a bond forged in defiance of rules, a connection so profound it transcended duty and dogma. For Anakin, Padmé was not just a senator or a wife. She was his anchor, his peace, the embodiment of everything good he wished to protect in a chaotic universe. When visions of her death began to plague him, visions mirroring the helplessness he felt as his mother slipped away, a primal terror took root. It wasn't a selfish fear for himself, but an agonizing, suffocating dread of losing her, of once again being powerless to save the one he loved most. And it was into this fertile ground of love and fear that the insidious seeds of manipulation were sown. Palpatine, the seemingly benign chancellor, understood Anakin better than anyone. He saw not just the power, but the raw, exposed nerve of his emotions. He didn't tempt Anakin with promises of domination or galactic conquest for their own sake. No, Palpatine was far more cunning. He offered solutions. He whispered of ancient powers, of the ability to cheat death, to prevent the very tragedy that haunted Anakin's nightmares. He painted the Jedi's path as limiting, rigid, incapable of providing the answers Anakin so desperately sought. Think about it. Anakin didn't fall because he coveted the Sith Lord's throne. He didn't crave immense power just to wield it arbitrarily. He was not seduced by the dark side's might for its own sake. He was tricked, slowly and painstakingly, into believing it was the only way to save the one he loved. Palpatine weaponized Anakin's most noble trait, his compassion, and twisted it into a destructive force. Only through me can you achieve a power greater than any Jedi, Palpatine promised, to save Padmé from certain death. It was a promise that resonated with Anakin's deepest desire, a direct appeal to his heroic savior complex, a promise designed to exploit his most profound fear. The choices Anakin made, the horrific actions he undertook, the slaughter of the Jedi younglings, the confrontation on Mustafar, were not the acts of a monster born of pure evil. They were the desperate, misguided actions of a man who believed, truly believed, that he was sacrificing his soul for a greater good, to save Padmé. He thought he was embracing the dark side for her, to prevent her suffering, to prevent his own repeat of the loss of his mother. In his twisted perception, he was still a hero, a savior, albeit one forced to walk a terrible path. This makes Anakin Skywalker, and later Darth Vader, a uniquely tragic villain. He is not a Snoke or an Emperor Palpatine, figures who embody pure, unadulterated evil. Anakin's fall is a profound tragedy because he was, at his core, a hero. A hero twisted and broken by the weight of his love, by the fear of loss, and by the master manipulation of a true evil. In his desperate attempt to be a savior, to prevent a future he dreaded, he became a destroyer. He became the very thing he fought against, ultimately causing the very demise he tried so desperately to prevent. The irony, the crushing, heartbreaking irony, is that his actions, fueled by love, led directly to Padmé's death. He created his own worst nightmare. His story is a poignant reminder that even the purest intentions, when clouded by fear and exploited by malice, can lead to the darkest outcomes. It teaches us about the fragility of the human spirit, the destructive power of unchecked fear, and how easily love, in its most desperate form, can be corrupted. Anakin's Fall is not just a galactic epic, it's a deeply personal human tragedy, a story of a heart broken by its own overwhelming capacity to care. His journey from the hopeful boy on Tatooine to the Vader we know is a somber reflection on how fear, when weaponized, can transform a savior into a destroyer. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes the greatest monsters are not born of malice, but forged in the crucible of love and desperation. What are your thoughts on Anakin's Fall? Do you see him more as a victim of circumstance or the architect of his own doom? Share your perspectives in the comments below. And if this reflection resonated with you, perhaps consider subscribing or following for more deep dives into the stories that shape our understanding of heroes, villains, and the spaces in between. Thank you for listening.